welcome to YouTube Live. Oh, ah, oh, eh, ah. Maybe if I plug it in. Oh, whoops. Hang on a second. Oh, come on, Chris, come on. Hey, oh, ah, there we go. Hey.
It's so hot, things in my fridge left me for another fridge.
Take two.
It's so hot, I can cook things in my fridge left me for another fridge. It's so hot, I can cook things in my fridge left me for another fridge. It's so hot, I can cook things in my my fridge left me for another fridge. It's so hot, I can cook things in my pants. My fridge left me for another fridge. It's so hot, I can cook things in my pants. My fridge left me for another fridge. It's so hot, I can cook things in my pants. My fridge left me for another fridge. It's so hot, I can cook things in my pants. My fridge left me for another fridge.
Oh, my fridge.
My fridge left me for another fridge.
It left me for another fridge. All the old hot jokes coming out again. It's a bit of a hot day here in Melbourne, Australia. How you going? My name's Chris Quinlan. Melbourne, Australia. Australia, mate. Australia. So there you go. Oh, over the last little bit, I've been getting a bit jazzy. And the show that I did last week was for dear Roy Haynes, who had such a beautiful, long life, made it to 99. And a few weeks ago, I did a show on both Dave Brubeck and his drummer Joe Morello. Wonderful. So I thought, well, I'm a bit jazzy at the moment. And I thought, well, Roy Haynes, I brought it up last week in the history, that Roy Haynes used to sub for Elvin Jones. So when we're talking about John Coltrane and the relationship, the musical relationship he had with Elvin Jones, which was uncanny, basically what happened was when Elvin, well, I did say it, he went away for a little while and all that, but Roy Haynes always subbed in. He was basically he was the drummer of choice. And I thought, well, I've talked about Elvin Jones in other episodes, but only in passing as a group. But I haven't done a show on Elvin Jones like I did with Roy Haynes. So I'd like to fix that tonight. Tonight's show is about one of my favourite drummers, Elvin Jones. And I'm going to head straight into it. Here we go. So, oi! Here we are. Elvin Jones. Here it is. Let's see. Press home to unlock. All right. There you go. Oi! Where did my thing go? There it is. Hang on. I've got to do it again. Oh, it went away. Elvin Jones, jazz drummer. Here we go. I had it already just before. Drats and darnation. All right. I've got it. No, leave that to me. Series started off without me. Elvin Jones, Elvin Ray Jones, September the 9th, 1927, May 18, 2004, was an American jazz drummer of the post-bop era. Most famously, a member of John Coltrane's quartet, with whom he recorded from late 1960 to late 65. Jones appeared on such albums as My Favorite Things, A Love Supreme, Ascension, ooh, that's a bit of a listen, and Live at Birdland, amongst a few others. After 1966, Jones led his own trio and later larger groups under the name The Elvin Jones Jazz Machine. There you go. His brothers Hank and Thad were also celebrated jazz musicians with whom he occasionally recorded. Elvin was inducted into the Modern Drummer Hall of Fame in 1995. In his The History of Jazz, jazz historian and critic Ted Gioia calls Jones one of the most influential drummers. It's so hot. Sorry. One of the most influential drummers in the history of jazz. He's also ranked at number 23 on Rolling Stone magazine's 100 greatest drummers of all time. There you are. That's part one there. So I'm going to carry on a little bit here. Now, last week, I did a little metronome hack, and I've kept it for you, and I will do it again for you. And I'll put it up here, but basically I use the Tempo app myself on the phone. And what I do is I take, I'll just do it again. It's just a repeat to start with. And what happens is, I'll just repeat this little hack if you didn't see it last week, is I change 4/4 to 8/4. The bell stays on 1. And then what happens is I take out the 3, the 5 and the 7. So you end up with this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. There's your jazz. Ding-a-ling, 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 up. Oi, there it is there. See. And what goes on, I'll come back to that, and I still got it at 240, which is, if you think of it, it's cut time 120, cut time, you see. And by its very nature, a jazz rhythm is a cut time kind of a rhythm, you see. That's what goes on. You with me? Get it? Got it? Good. There you go. That seems to be my vocabulary now. Now, one of the things I'd like to take you through, this is a well-played rudiment. I'd like to think about the humble right, left, left. Okay, so it's just right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left. That's it. And then you build it up. Okay, so you've got a single tap on the main beat there and then a double tap left. So here's a build it up. There you go, there's that. Then the second one is right, right, left. Right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left. Now what that does is it puts a sort of a natural accent. 1 and up, 2 and up, 3 and up, 4 and up. Just before the beat, so you got one. You see? So if you're playing, say, like 4/4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So on. So then you mix them up. What's happening with my left hand? So what a lot of people call this, everybody calls it, if you look at the rudiment chart, it is a 6-stroke roll, okay? But when you usually see it, it's thought of or written in semiquavers. So you might have 1 E and up. So no worries, that's fine, that's what it is. But to make it jazzy, triplematize it, you see. So you might have 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. All roads lead to Rome. So and there you have it, you see. Roly-poly, roly-poly. Now that was all mostly snare drum there, and what happens then is that you can take those two components and start doing some of your main accented rhythms with them, you see. Now, one of the most used rhythms in the world is the humble calypso, which is, it's known by many names, but you've got that kind of. Now, there it is. So you play it like this. That's leaning towards an African sukos or rhythm. There you go. And different regions have different names for that. Now, if you put that in to a jazz rhythm, what you do is you can utilize those two basic sticking patterns. Right, left, left, right, right, left. Okay, so you get right, left, left, and right, left, top. There it is, you see, you've got a calypso, but a little bit more on the jazzy side. So if you put it in, let me have a crack at this. There it is, you see. Now, I might as well keep on going. You see, what happens is the calypso itself with the of course, you just need the 2 in the second bar to make it a 3-2 clave. And away you go, you see. Hui! There it is. Now, what happens with that is then you can have the reverse clave. You can do it backwards. So like... So on it goes. There it is there. There you go. I hope you're getting something out of it so far. So what we've got is the humble right, left, left, and right, right, left. Now, getting back to Elvin Jones. One of the things that I was talking about last week with dear Roy Haynes is his style and the kind of sound he would get and what he was able to do with it, you see. And I'm going to do the same with Mr. Jones, you see. What happens is that when you're listening to Elvin Jones play, one of the things when I was coming up was you could tell, I made a joke about it last week, is that Roy? Is that Tony? Is that Elvin? It's got to be Elvin, yeah. All that stuff. And what goes on is one of the things about Elvin Jones's style was when he was really getting in and digging in with John Coltrane, it was just this constant motion of rolling kind of triplet kind of other things. He'd be implying different stuff. It was just amazing to listen to, especially with some things like impressions and different things that he'd play. Love Supreme, and then you get all of that's pretty much right, left, left, and right, right, left. Now, what I'm doing now is essentially an old joke. I was explaining this to one of my students around about 2 decades ago. And she started laughing. And I go, what's going on? And I was explaining it like, it was actually more talking about Buddy Rich. And I was sort of saying, well, when you listen to Buddy Rich, it's like snare drum, lots of snare drum with flicking out to the toms. So if I'm going to do a kind of a Buddy Rich kind of thing, like... something like that. Whatever it might be. And then I compared it to John Bonham of Led Zeppelin, who said, so much of what he does is kind of... So he's like Tom. And she started laughing. Melissa started laughing. And I go, what are you laughing for? It's like belly buttons. And I've gone, what? He said, it's like innies and outies. You know, like belly buttons. You know, have a look at your belly. Is it an innie or is it an outie? You know, burr, burr, burr. So I've been doing innies. On the brain, that. Shave and a haircut. There it is. Now when you're doing outies, you could do the same thing, you see. So what can happen is, this is actually a Steve Gadd thing that he does, but it's predated by Elvin. So you get that kind of... Oi! So you get that kind of... Now, the aforementioned calypso, 3/2 claves and whatnot, if you go back to the Buddy Rich days, the Louis Bellson days, with big bands and stuff, there was a thing in the 30s called jungle drums, and it's that kind of like... Also big with people like Sandy Nelson, who I've done a show on as well. You know, that kind of thing a couple of years ago, but nevertheless it did. And what happens is you get that kind of... Now I'm playing Let There Be Drums, but jungle. What happens is if I'm doing a calypso, three-two clave, bam, bam, bam. Now I'm channeling a bit of Buddy Rich there, you see, with the, you know, like the Dorsey band and stuff like that. So, but what goes on is that rolling thing. You can start like just normal, like roll. So on it goes, you see. Now, when you're doing things like that, that's fine. But with Elvin Jones, he was very big on melody. It was kind of like stream of consciousness. And how could it not be when you spend so much time playing with John Coltrane and it becomes empathy, you see. And, you know, it's a little bit like it's, well, you know, sort of thing. It just rolls. And so what starts to happen is that one of the things in researching the show today, as much as I can, he kept referring to melody, just thinking about melody. And what would happen is he would be playing and he'd be almost singing to himself and that kind of business there. So you might be going... Now that's my take on it. But you could go... Satin Gold. Now, I wouldn't play, if I was in a jazz band, I wouldn't play like over the top like that. I'm using Satin Doll by Duke Ellington like a vehicle to solo, like da 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 da, ba ba da ba da 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 da, ba ba da ba 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 da da da. Something like that. Oh, I better get a wriggle on over there. So there you go. I'm going to read a little bit more. Come on, don't let me down. Don't cancel out. There we go. Oh, you have you? Oh, I've got to do it again. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Come on. Here we go. What are you doing that for? Elvin Jones, drummer. Getting back to it now. Here we are. Ooh. I'll go a little bit further. Yes. Let me do that. Now, there we go. Korea. I'll go straight to that. 1946 to 1949. Military service. Jones served in the United States Army from 1946 to 1949. With his mustering out pay and an additional $35 borrowed from his sister, Jones purchased his first drum kit. 1949 to 1960, professional musician beginnings. Jones began his professional career in 1949 with a short-lived gig in a club on Detroit's Grand River Street. Eventually, he went on to play with artists including Billy Mitchell and Wardell Gray. In 1955, after a failed audition for the Benny Goodman Band, he found work in New York City, joining Miles Davis and Charles Mingus. Ooh, that would have been fiery. Oh, Miles Davis and Charlie Mingus. Step outside. For their Blue Moods album on Mingus's co-owned debut label. During the late 1950s, Jones was a member of the Sonny Rollins Trio that recorded most of the album A Night at the Village Vanguard, an album cited as a high point for both Rollins and for 1950s jazz in general. Here's the main bit. 1960 to 66, association with John Coltrane. In 1960, he began playing with John Coltrane. By 1962, he had become an integral member of the classic John Coltrane Quartet, along with bassist Jimmy Garrison and pianist McCoy Tyner. Jones and Coltrane would often play extended duet passages. What did I tell you? This band is widely considered to have redefined swing, the rhythmic feel of jazz, in much the same way that Louis Armstrong, Charlie Parker, and others had done during earlier stages of jazz's development. Jones said of that period, playing with Coltrane, every night when we hit the bandstand, no matter if we come 500 or 1,000 miles, the weariness just dropped from us. It was one of the most beautiful things a man can experience. If there is anything like perfect harmony in human relationships, that band was as close as you can come. There it is. Polyrhythmic styles. Once he left the group, the second drummer, Rashid Ali. I've got that, Interstellar Space. He's a fantastic drummer too. There you go. And then after that, he's led wonderful bands since Joe Farrell, Jimmy Garrison, Blue Note Albums, Putting It Together, and The Ultimate, Live at the Lighthouse, Steve Grossman, Dave Liebman, respectively. Jones also played on many albums of the modal jazz era, such as The Real McCoy with McCoy Tyner and Speak No Evil with Wayne Shorter, which I have in the other room. There, on vinyl. Beginning in the early 80s, Jones performed and recorded with his own group, the Elvin Jones Jazz Machine, whose lineup changed through the years. There you go. Both Sonny Fortune and Ravi Coltrane, John Coltrane's son, played saxophone with the Jazz Machine in the early 90s, appearing together with Jones in Europe on the Enjar Records, on Enjar Records in 1991. His final recording as a band leader, The Truth, heard live at the Blue Note, recorded in 1999 and issued in 2004, featured an enlarged version of his Jazz Machine. There you go. That's enough. Oi! There it is. And read the rest yourself. There it is. I Better Love and Leave You. So what happens is I kept it fairly simple. What happens is right, left, left. Rim shots. Right, right, left. Put them both together. Innies, outies. Oh, there it is. I hope you enjoyed it. melodies there. Don't forget the little metronome hack. It's always a bit of fun. And what you've got.
My fridge left me for another fridge.
It's so hot. It was a hot day today.
My fridge left me for another fridge.
Channeling Robin Williams, I think.
so hot.
Good
My
morning,
fridge left me for another
Vietnam. There you go.
It's so
Oh,
hot. My
take it.
fridge
Ah,
left me for
I'm off.
another fridge.
Oh, there we
My
go.
fridge left me for another fridge.
Oi.
It's so hot. My fridge left me for another fridge. It's so hot. My fridge left me for another fridge. It's so hot. My fridge left me for another fridge. It's so hot.